Hey, Pete, how you going? It's so good to see you. Haven't seen you for ages. How you doing? How's the family?
Family's good. I'm really blessed with a wonderful family, Daryl. I'm always thankful for that. Not so good at work though.
Not so good at work?
No.
What's the problem?
Well, business has been down. We're already battling to pay the bills. But,
True. Is that virus related? Is it to do with this COVID-19 virus?
Well, the virus isn't helping. I'll grant that. But at the end of the day, to be honest, I've been going south for a while now.
So what are you saying, Pete? That just selling coffee's not enough to cut it anymore? We need to try and pursue some other avenues, or?
Well, look, honestly, I should be looking at adding to the business in some shape or form, but it's one of those things. There are lots of coffee shops around, and and even with the virus, the landlord expects me to contribute something towards the rent.
Yeah, I've seen a few of those takes on telly. They say you've got to watch the rent. That's obviously a big factor, and then the staff, they're not fronting up for nothing. They need to be paid, and listen, that's something you perhaps should consider if you haven't already. What about addressing some of the staff members? Is there any cutbacks there that perhaps you can apply in these tough times?
I hear what you're saying, Daryl. Mary's been with me since the day one.
I remember Mary. Yep.
Yeah. I've already cut her back to 2 days, but I feel terrible. She's a single mum, and she's struggling too.
Peter, I understand what you're saying. I remember Mary well. She was with you the day you opened, from day one. You're right. And I guess, yeah, she's got her own issues and her own problems. But Pete, you've got to do what you've got to do. It's tough out there. Tough times. You're going to have to make some tough decisions, man.
Well, I guess that'll happen.
Listen, have you talked to the bank? Have you chatted to them on the score? Because you're not the only one out there doing it tough. I'm sure there's got to be a lot of others that are, very similar, if not worse. But
yeah, I've spoken to the bank manager. I'll be honest with you, Daryl. As I said before, things have been going south for a while, and I really think the bank's about going as far as they can possibly go. I don't think there's much room to move there anymore.
Hey, that might well be so, but just because the banks hit the wall with regard to what they can and can't do for you, I'm sure there's got to be other financial institutions out there that you could talk to, that you could lean on, that surely they'd listen to you and have a chat to them. You've got to give them a go, yeah.
You mean like a financial advisor?
Yeah.
Well, look, that's a good point. I've thought about it every now and again, just that I'm a bit tight with my money.
Hey, you're not telling me. I know how tight you are. But
so,
look,
do you think it's worth a go?
Absolutely. Yeah. Look, you owe it to yourself. You owe it to Mary. You owe it to your other staff members. You've got to make the call. You've got to make the call. Do it.
All right.
Of course, the other option, Pete, and again, I don't know whether you've even considered this, but if you really had to, you could wrap up the whole business, put on the market, sell it off, and walk away. And there's no reason you shouldn't really seriously consider that. I mean, you've been there 20 years, you put in the hard yards, you could walk away a debt-free man, you could grab your wife and pack your van and go off on a holiday. There's life after coffee shops. Honestly, there's got to be a way out of this.
It's a tough call, Daryl. I'd have to give that some thought, but it'd definitely be a last resort. But I hear what you're saying, and look, you're a good friend, Daryl. I really appreciate your thoughts. I'm really glad that I can share these things with you today.
Yeah, Peter, I may not have all the answers, but I think all things considered, if you if you pursue all of those avenues, and look, even down the track, if you want to have another chat, if you want to come back to me at any time, if you want a shoulder to lean on, I'm more than happy to do a bite. Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
I better get going.
Okay.
All the best. Thanks for that.
Thanks very
See
much
ya.
for the chat. Yep. Wow. How good was that? That's what I call a good friend. Someone you can get down to the nitty gritty with them. Someone you can trust. You know they're not out there telling everybody else your problems. Always willing to listen, to share, to be honest. That's a friend.